Hello, hello. Welcome to Spotlight Coaching with Shelley Simpson. I am so excited to be here today. So, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you're watching from. And if you're in my group, we're having this, you are in the group. Be Vibrant, Be You. Please invite people into the group, tag them on this. If you're watching live, please tell me where you're watching from. If you catch the replay, please tell me where you're coming from too. And also, I'm going to be doing a meditation today. So after the live, or maybe tomorrow, at some point when I get a little more free time, I'm going to trim the meditation out of here, create a new guide here in Be Vibrant, Be You, and put the meditation in there. It's a really good one. So stay with me. And we're going to talk about preparation for 2024. So remembering, recognizing, and replacing. But I am not going to get to those 3 R's till near the end. We're going to talk about a few things before that. So stick with me. And comments and sharing, feedback, questions, everything are welcome. So preparation for 2024, right? So let's take, there's a process to everything, okay? A former mentor of mine used to take as an example, like making a peanut butter sandwich. You just don't think about the peanut butter sandwich and there it appears. There's a process, right? You got to get the bread out. You got to get the peanut butter out. You got to get the jam out. You have to take the bread out of the loaf. You have to set it down. You need a tool. You need a knife, right? So you put the bread down. You have 2 pieces. You need to take the lid off the peanut butter, take the lid off the jam. Then you start, maybe some people start with the jam, and there's always a different way to do things, right? There's more than one way. So some people put peanut butter on both slices, put the jam in the middle. Some people put jam on one slice, and peanut butter on the other. Are you getting this? Processes, whatever I coach here, is subject to adjust to what works for you. So this is a guideline. So are you getting this? So making a peanut butter sandwich, there could be more than one way of doing it. They're all similar, but they end up with the same result at the end, the peanut butter sandwich. All right. So this process and the things that I'm going to share here today, we're about 3 weeks away from 2024. I know, right? And so, but I want you to know that's a calendar benchmark, okay? You can use this process at any time during the year, okay? But yes, you're going to see a lot of mentors talking about reflecting and, goal setting for next year and all of that. And I do it all. So, but the one thing I want to share is this is the process I did this spring going into summer without actually realizing it until it was done. When I had, a big setback and then a quantum leap, right? So there's a process and you can use it anytime. But right now we're talking about going in and preparing for 2024. You don't wait till 2024. You're going to start reflecting. You're going to start remembering, recognizing, and replace. I actually like that a little better than reflection. So stick with me. So I want to start with a meditation. I really, really want to get you focused. So I want you to concentrate on your breathing, okay? Hands on your lap, or if you're laying down, that's okay too. Whatever way you want to do a meditation. If you want to come back and listen to this later and just bear with us, Yeah, stick around. Okay, so breathe in, breathe out. Let's do this 3 times. If it helps, put your hand on your belly. On that inhale, exhale. So I want you to envision in your mind right now where you're presently sitting. I want you to envision the room. You know this room. You spend time in this room. You recognize it, and you can remember it. So I want you to next, as you keep your breathing slow and steady, I want you to get up in your mind, not like actually, but in your mind, I want you to visualize. I want you to get up from where you're sitting or laying down, and I want you to walk to the door of the room. If there isn't a door, I want you to walk and stand at the archway or the open doorway before you step into the next room. I want you to stand there, and I want you to turn around. I want you to take a look at this room. And let's capture the feeling that this is the one last time you're going to look at this room. You're going to turn back around, keeping your breathing steady and calm. If you need to keep your hand on your belly, that's okay. If you want to put your left hand over your heart, that's okay too. There is no right or wrong. You're going to walk away from the room. Visualize yourself walking away from the room. And as you walk away from the room's going to fade. It's going to slowly, slowly fade. Okay? Till you can't see it anymore. Now, I want you to look down. You have a book in your hand. You have a book in your hand, and you have a pen in the other hand. And you have just finished chapter 23. You've just finished chapter 23. You're going to keep walking, and you're going to walk into a new room. I want you to visualize in your mind a new room. It could be an office. It could be another living room. It could be just a room with a chair and a table in it. Keep it simple. Let's not decorate right now. Concentrate on your breathing. Just a simple room. Now I want you to sit down on the couch, the chair, at the table or chair, whatever you visualized. I want you to sit down. You've just finished chapter 23. You're going to sit down and open the book and take your pen, and there's chapter 24, and it's blank. It's totally blank. And I want you to think of a title for chapter 24. The year that I succeed. The year that I am writing that book. The year I am going to find love. The year I am going to practice self-care. It could be anything. And it doesn't have to be the year. It could be the year I find or I create. The year I create love, peace, and harmony in my life. It could be anything. Remember to inhale and exhale. Sit here and ponder this for a moment. And the answer may not come to you right in this moment, and that's okay. That's okay. Now, if you have a new title for your year, or for your chapter 24, write it down. Write it down. And if you're still pondering it, that's okay. It will come to you. You may have already been pondering things that you want to do with 2024 just being 3 weeks away. So I want you to breathe in, hold it for 4, and exhale. Do it again. 1, 2, 3, 4. Release. Now, when you're ready, I want you to come back to your awareness. I want you to come back to the present. Be aware, follow my voice, and open your eyes when you are ready. That's a pretty cool one. Coming up with a few good meditations. Yes, I'm patting myself on the back because I am good at meditation. I am good at meditation. You can do this. If I can do it, anyone else can. All right. So next, let's talk about what the process is. Last weekend, I was going to talk about process and being present. So we're present and we're going to talk about the process. So, number 1, I want you to write down, okay? I want you to write down things you want to leave behind. Maybe some big mistakes that you made, and mistakes are okay because we learn from them, right? They're feedback. I want you to take all the luggage, all that baggage. We're going to leave that in 2023. Now, your good energy, and you probably created new things and new habits in 2023. And if they work well for you, you're going to bring those. But we always have something to recognize and remember and replace. We always do. And sometimes when we're creating new good habits, some old or new bad habits come in there. It's all right. We're all human. We have a human side out to us. So take all that baggage, and this is this process I'm going to share with you. And, and you can jot down a few things, Also, there's a few things I want you to write this down. There's 3 words I do want to have some input in here and you to take something back from this. Is in 2004 in your vocabulary, you're going to take away 3 words out of your vocabulary: wanting, wishing, and waiting. We're not going to want anymore. We're going to I am, or I am creating. We're not wanting. We're not wishing. Wishing, it never comes. Wishing for something, you need to do the work. You need to do the work. Waiting, you can wait. You can sit and do nothing and wait, and you'll be waiting. And you can probably have a few things pop into your mind that you've been waiting. And there may be some of you that say, I've been doing the work for a long time on this, Shelley, like months or years. It'll come when it's supposed to. And sometimes the universe doesn't send it until you're ready. So, number 1, now that you've written down a few things that have popped into your mind and more may come afterwards, I want you to do this process a few times. So, I want you to write down, what is an activity that you're going to stop or limit? I don't even know if I would want to limit. Maybe you don't want to totally get rid of it, but you're not going to change a habit by limiting. Something you want to stop. Maybe you want to stop staying up late. Maybe you want to start getting to bed earlier. Maybe you want to get that 7-8 hours sleep a night. Maybe you want to create a new bedtime, a time you go to bed and a time you wake up. Consistent. That's good for mindset. That's good for your soul. It's good for your mental health. It's good for your physical health too. Maybe you want to stop doubting yourself. You know, maybe you're like, oh, I see her on social media. Look at her doing that. I could never do that. Why would you say that? But make sure it's something that you want to create in your life. You know, go at your pace. Maybe you've been trying to do things at other people's pace. I know I've been guilty of that. I've been really guilty of that in the past. And it's freeing when you make the decision that I'm going to do this at my pace. My pace, my journey is different than anyone else's. And there is nothing wrong with that. I'm going to go at my pace, not their pace. Maybe with some things, your pace is a little quicker. Maybe with other things, your pace is a little slower. That's okay. Be you. Okay? So number one, what's an activity we're going to stop? Right? Maybe you're going to watch less TV. Maybe you're not going to watch TV every night. Maybe you're going to read a little more. Could be anything. Okay? So, number one, stop an activity. Number two, what are you going to stop thinking about? What are you going to stop thinking about? What's a thought that your inner critic says to yourself and you're going to stop? Okay? A big one for me, and it still creeps up every once in a while, and I have to go, oh, no, is worthiness. You know, a big one for me throughout the years has been that I haven't been worthy. And and I know where it comes from now after studying myself. A failed marriage, some other mistakes I've made in my life, letting people stay in my life longer than I should have, putting up with certain behaviors and attitudes that have created, from that thought that I am not worthy. You hang on to negative. Okay. So for me, that thought still comes up once in a while. And I'm always, I'm probably always going to, I don't want to say struggle, but deal with that. So I will remember, recognize, and replace it with, I am worthy. I am worthy. So when that thought comes in, I automatically go, oh no, I am worthy. I am worthy. So think of a thought that you want to stop. So an activity you want to stop, a thought you want to stop. Now, number three, remember those words, those 3 words I told you to write down? What do you want to stop wanting or wishing for? What do you want to stop wanting or wishing for? Wanting, wishing, waiting. This is your emotional vocabulary, okay? This is your emotional vocabulary. Leave behind wanting and wishing. Leave it behind. Instead of saying I want to write a book, say I am going to write a book. I want to lose weight. I am going to lose weight. Wanting, wishing, and waiting. They're limiting. It's a limiting vocabulary. When you say I am, then you're going to create a process. At least I hope you will. If not, reach out. I will help you with this. You're going to create a process. So like, for example, I know this is a big one, but I am going to write my book. So then you're going to create a plan. You're going to maybe put aside 1 hour a week. Maybe if you're really ambitious, you're going to put aside an hour a day. You're going to sit down. And even if you sit there, and I've done this, when I wrote my chapter in my book, in my collaboration a couple years ago, there were some days I sat down and I sat there, my mind was blank, and I just sat there. And you know what? I gave myself permission, and I didn't Didn't accomplish anything, but you know what I did accomplish? I was present with myself, and I was creating that habit at the same time on the same day that I made the commitment to myself. I wasn't wanting, waiting, or wishing. I was doing. Even though you're not actually seeing a result, in that moment, you're creating the habit. Go at your pace. You see how this all interconnects? It's okay. So, activity, stop an activity, stop a thought, and stop the emotional vocabulary that limits you. 4, what are you going to stop spending money and time on? What are you going to stop spending money and time on? What is something that you spend money on that really, for me, I've already started looking at this, but I have some services that I subscribe to and I don't even use. I don't even use them. So I'm going to stop spending time and money. Well, I don't even spend time spending money on services I don't even use. Right? So I'm going to take a look at that. You know, I found a couple with reviewing my credit card statement going, one of them was Sirius Radio. Do you know I don't even listen to Sirius Radio, and I've subscribed to it for years. And the last couple of years, I haven't even used it. I am listening to podcasts all the time. When I do listen to some music, it's like I've transitioned over to Spotify, and I'm listening to my podcasts on there, my music on there, and I'm like, I need to cancel that service to Sirius Radio. I don't need it anymore. I'm not using it. So stop spending time and money on things that maybe you just have because you used it in the past, or because somebody else, you heard somebody on social media or something, and the fact that you subscribe to it, you think it's going to make a difference. No. So like that. Number 5, what are you going to stop eating or drinking? I was talking to a former client earlier this week, and they're going to, one of them, the things they want to do is stop drinking pop. Now, no judgment here. I know I actually have friends that were addicted to Pepsi, and they admitted it. This is self-proclaimed. However, you can change this, right? I haven't drank pop. I'm 54. I haven't drank pop since like my early 20s. Pop is poison to me. It makes me feel terrible. When you first drink it, I'll tell you the first thing that was really hard for me when I stopped drinking pop was, you know, when you get those bubbles and that in your mouth, I was missing that carbonation. Just the feeling, right? But I became a huge water drinker. Now, there's no right or wrong. If you enjoy your pop, I'm not going to judge you. That's totally up to you. But when you take a look in the mirror and you don't like the looks of your skin, you're not feeling great, you're dragging, think about what you need to stop eating or drinking. We really are what we eat, and it does affect how we feel. So how we feel affects our emotions, our vibration, what frequency we're on, and our thoughts, right? When you have a better energy, a high energy, or you're in a good energy, you have more healthier, better thoughts. It all interconnects. So think about what you're putting into your body. What are you eating and drinking? And you know what? Don't change it all at once. I had some people, you know, pop, chips, ice cream, da-da-da. Start with one thing. If you want to start with it all and you can do it, I'm not saying you can't. But if you're like, whoa, that's a lot, Shelley. Like, I like my sweets, but I do want to change it. Start with one thing at a time. Maybe in 2024, you're just going to change one. That's okay. Go at your pace, right? So, recap, we have stick with me because I haven't got to the last 3 words. Remember, recognize, and replace. But you're going to stop an activity, stop a thought, change your emotional vocabulary, stop spending. What are you going to stop spending money and time on? What are you going to stop eating and drinking? Now, number 6. It's going to be really hard for some of you, and that's okay. Who is someone you want to stop seeing in your life? Who is someone that you want to stop tolerating? Who is someone that steals your energy? Who is someone that lowers your energy? Who is that? And, chances are someone came to mind. Now, I work on this consistently, right? I have a very small circle and for my immediate people. And we are very careful on who we let into our circle. And I'm very protective of my energy now. This is a lesson I did probably about something I really got good at about 4 or 5 years ago now. And I cleaned up my social circle. I even cleaned up. I know you're going to go, wow, or maybe you won't. Maybe you've done this, but there's even family members. Just because they're family doesn't mean that that you need to tolerate them. All right. If they're, if they bring you down or they talk down to you or all they do is gossip about other people and, they're not on the same page as you of trying to be positive and serving and creating a better life or just a better energy and being better, happier, it's okay. I'm telling you, I'm giving you permission. It's a hard one though. I'm not going to tell you it's not. It can be a hard one. So if you have already done that, so with number 6, if you've already done this and clean up your social circle, your family circle, then, and you say, Shell, I'm good. Okay, so who do you want to make? There's an A and B to 6. B, who do you want to make more time for? Who do you wish, when life is busy, that you wish you were spending more time with? And it may not even be a who, it could be a what. Like one thing I've made a lot more time for is my dog. Not that I didn't see my dog every day. My dog follows me around. But Toby and I have quality time every day together now. Because you know what? That's my happy place. Spending time with my dog, watching him run around, be happy. Him and I having quality time. If it's a half hour, an hour, or 2 hours, it depends on the day. It doesn't matter. It's quality time where he has 100% of me in my presence. No phone, no TV on. I do. And some of you go, really? And I'm like, yeah, especially the people that aren't dog lovers. I'm actually a little sidebar. I'm a little suspicious of people that don't like dogs. But that's because I'm a dog lover, right? Doesn't mean I won't like you. And you don't have to like dogs. But that's okay. So, what are you going to do with these 6 things? Well, you're going to remember. So, as you work through this, right? The first one. What is one thing you want to stop, right? So, I'm going to use an example of staying up late. So, what I've started this year is on my Fitbit, and you can use it on your phone or whatever. At 9:30, my Fitbit will remind me that it is time to start winding down and get ready for bed at 9:30 because I don't want to stay up later than 10. 6 out of 7 days a week. Saturday night is late night, but do you know what it's becoming? Like 10:30, and I'm ready for bed because I've set this habit and I'm creating this habit. So I want to be in bed so I can get up early and start my morning successfully in doing what I want to do before I actually start my day and get my required sleep. So I have a good energy the next day. I want to be in bed and asleep by 10 a.m. So I remember, I recognize that this is what I want to do. And if I don't do it, I know I'm going to be dragging my butt the next day. And that's not what I want. That's not the energy I want to be in. We don't create well in that energy. So this is just an example. I'm using one of mine and I replace it. So I'm going to replace it, which creates the new habit. So I replace it by, okay, I've gotten my half-hour warning. If I'm watching TV or if I'm reading a book, it's time to stop and I get up. I'm probably already in my comfies, but I get up. I fill up my water bottle I'm going to take to bed. I set my clothes out. I meal prep. And these are all other lives. Like I just make sure I've got other things, I got everything in place for my next day, because to have a successful morning, you need to prepare the night before. I'm telling you, 100%. And I brush my teeth and do whatever. And, I do my skin regime every night. I get into bed. And I either listen to sound waves, brain waves. I like to do 5 or 10 minutes, or I fall asleep and they automatically shut off while I'm doing that. So I'm in bed and I'm comfy. And 9 times out of 10 now it's before 10, but it's between, right? So I've created this new habit. And so you want to take each and every one. So like for a thought, you're going to remember. If this thought comes up, like I am not worthy, this thought comes up, I remember. And I remember the feeling of it. I recognize that this is creeping back in and I replace it with, I am worthy. And I say it out loud with conviction, in truth and belief. And you may not get there right away, but you will. You have to build this up. This is all a process. So this is an easy process to start with your goal setting for 2024. People call them resolutions. Not a favorite word of mine. It hasn't been for a long time. There was a time in my life where I did. I like to call it goal setting. Okay? It's goal setting. And some of your goals, I'm going to tell you, some of the goals that you set for 2024, like what I set for 2023, I didn't even get those goals. Some of them I did, some of them I didn't. They changed. With my growth and doing this process. And then I started this process, like I said a little while ago, because things did not work out the way I expected in 2023. I found myself in a total different spot that I never would have even imagined. But it's okay. I started remembering, recognizing, and replacing. I wrote down, what do I want to stop? What is one thing I want to stop? Maybe you have 2 or 3 things. Go at your pace, not mine. What did I want to stop thinking about? What did I want to stop wanting or wishing or waiting for? What did I want to stop spending money and time on? What did I want to stop eating and drinking? Some of you have heard about my journey. I did a few things. I lost 30 pounds. I'm back to me, and I feel awesome. And I just didn't do supplements to do that, people. Supplements helped, and I have some good ones. But what did I stop eating and drinking? And I move every day. What was someone you want to stop seeing? Well, some people made that easy for me. However, there was still a process, an emotional process for me to go through and deal with that. I can help with that if you ever need. So remember, recognize, and replace when you do each of these steps. So I would love your feedback on this. I will at some point this week separate the meditation, and I will start a meditation guide, and I'll trim it so you can revisit this. This is going to go under the Spotlight Coaching Guide in our group. And I want to thank you. Have an awesome Sunday. Bye.